Welcome back. This is another episode of Chulsoo Hangul. My name is Chulsoo. I am the one that is going to be leading this show. And if you are here, then you must know that you are coming to learn Korean. Learn some Korean phrases and expressions that you can use throughout the week in order to build your repertoire and also to surprise and wow your Korean friends. So if that's what you are looking for, then you are in the right place. If not, go ahead and change the channel. So what I've been focusing on in these past couple of episodes is actually Netflix. If you look at Netflix, there are many Korean movies and even Korean dramas that you can see with a Netflix account. So this week I'm going to take a look at Komsa Wejan. Komsa Wejan, which that's the Korean title. In English, it is a violent prosecutor. So nowadays, if you search a violent prosecutor in Netflix, it will come out. Let me explain a little bit about the background and what's going on in the movie first though, because this movie is about a prosecutor who is actually framed in a way for the killing of someone that he is interrogating. And so he's sent to prison for maybe like 10, 11 years, something like that, on charges of murder for this person. And so it's kind of a movie about the trials and tribulations of him being in prison, but also he teams up with this kind of con artist and they're working together in order to, get each other out of prison. And essentially the main character wants to redeem himself. So the first phrase I'm going to teach you is coming from a part of the movie where the con artist that I'm talking about is just now coming into the prison. And shortly after, his girlfriend is there and she's visiting him and they're talking on the phone. You know how in prison you'll have the person who's in jail or in prison on one side and then the person who's visiting him on the other side, and you'll have a phone here and a phone here and they pick it up to speak to each other. So they're in a conversation. So to give you an idea of what that looks like, let me just show you the scene.
오빠 괜찮아? 몸은 좀 어때? 잘 지내고 있는 거지?
Who are you?
그게 무슨 말이야?
내가 정말 무슨 말 하는지 몰라서 그래?
오빠 왜 그래?
난 이제 하나같이 이쁘고 아름답게 자란 아이랑 어울리는 사람이 아니야. 나 같은 전과자 같은 건 잊어버리고 그냥 행복하게 살아. 이 얘기하러 잠깐 나온 거야.
In the midst of this conversation, there are three phrases. The first one is 그게 무슨 말이야? 그게 무슨 말이야? Which is, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And so his girlfriend is saying like, what are you talking about? I don't get it. Like there's something that doesn't add up. So in that circumstance, you can say 그게 무슨 말이야? To mean, what are you talking about?
그게 무슨 말이야?
So the next phrase also comes in this conversation. Why are you doing this? Like, I don't get it. Why are you doing this? You're acting weird. You're acting funny. Why are you doing this? I don't understand. And that is, in Korean, 왜 그래? 왜, which means why, and 그래, which means like to do something. So, 왜 그래? Why? Why are you doing this? So if you have a situation like that, let's say for example, one of your friends is just acting weird and things don't match and just 1 and 1 don't equal 2 in this situation. So it doesn't add up and you say, 왜 그래? 왜 그래? Why are you acting like that? I don't get it.
오빠 왜 그래?
And the third and final phrase I'm going to teach you is 행복하게 살아. 행복하게 살아. Which means move on with your life and live happily. So move on with your life. Now, this particular phrase, it can actually be used in different circumstances. So right here it says, move on with your life. Let me explain that 행복하게 means happily. 행복하게. And then 살아. 살아 means to live. So you can even translate or interpret this as live happily ever after, or be happy, live a happy life. Any of those, anything along those lines.
그냥 행복하게 살아.
All right, so that is it for today. We're gonna review these 3 phrases. The first one, if you remember,
무슨 말이야?
그게 무슨 말이야? The next one is
오빠 왜 그래?
왜 그래? Which means, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And the third and final one,
그냥 행복하게 살아.
행복하게 살아. Which means, yes, it can be move on with your life. It can be happy, live happily ever after. Any of those works, depending on the circumstance. All right, so this is again Chulsoo from Chulsoo의 한글, and that is it for today's phrases. I chose 3 phrases from a movie that you can find in Netflix called A Violent Prosecutor. A Violent Prosecutor. If you want the Korean name, it is 검사 외전. 검사 외전. Okay? All right, so that is it for this week. I will see you all next time. 또 봐요.